It feels like the season is minutes old. It feels like we're still very much getting up to the URC standard. And yet, here we are. We have the first squad of the Autumn Nation Series. Ireland have named their squad for November. What's our initial reaction?
Andy Farrell's been very clever naming this the week before Munster versus Leinster.
Yes.
There will be nobody getting riled up this weekend during that game that X-player hasn't been picked. Gavin Coombs has missed out once again, of course, unfortunately. That guy can't catch a break, unfortunately.
Look, it stinks to have Andy Farrell's named his squad again.
Yeah.
He just copies and pastes this in.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, he has to do a little bit of tip-X on someone if someone's injured or something. This Ireland squad is so settled. It's so consistent. And it does not make for the most interesting reactions, right? No. And so you get two things happen. One is you get a lot of people offering a lot of hot takes, right? Tom Farrell has been playing very well. Played very well last season. Stats through the roof across the board. Would deserve to be in a squad. Would be in a lot of other nations' squads. He would still be your 4th or 5th choice centre. Yeah. Right? He'd still be down the pecking order.
He would be an excellent 5th choice centre.
And so what the situation we're in, right, is like, maybe you can argue being above Stuart McCloskey's experience. He's been grinding that one game against the Tier 2 nation Japan Tier 1. But
experience is a great word for Stuart McCloskey.
In that that slot in the autumn, right? That one game a year, he's been grinding it for 15 years. He's got 20 odd caps just through doing that for ages. That's fine. He knows the system inside out. They know each other. Farrell really prioritises that. That's fine. What you're arguing over here, you end up the thing that having a boring squad being named gives you is you get disproportionately invested in who the 4th choice centre is.
Yeah.
Right? So you get really focused on that because the rest of the squad, you're like, yeah, those are a list of guys that deserve to be here. And therefore, it is less interesting than it could be otherwise. I don't think look, Tom Farrell, I'd love to be in there. Gavin Coombs, I'd love to be in there. They would not be playing many minutes because there are players above them in the pecking order. Now, a lot of those players haven't played since the Lions. They probably will over the next weekend. Some of them have played a very limited number of minutes. They have played, but very limited minutes. Just played for Leinster against the Sharks or, again, just picking up minutes as they're going. I can understand why that would be a frustration for some people having watched the URC season, but also you're picking the best squad available and that involves those players.
And Ireland have lost one game so far this year, so this is a broadly winning formula. Yeah. I completely get why Andy Farrell doesn't want to gamble on that. Yeah. Especially the Tom Farrell example is great because he's such an exciting player and has been really consistent in the URC, was great for Connacht a couple of years ago and has now risen up and gone upper gear and is now punching up with the big dogs playing for Munster and has been brilliant for them, right? And so I think he's a really good player to bring up. But at the same time, you're looking at Bundy Archie, who's just been on a Lions tour. Gary Ringrose, also just been on a Lions tour. Robbie Henshaw, some would say unlucky to miss out on the Lions tour. Yeah. He could have got on the Lions tour on the basis of experience, and he wouldn't have played badly if he did go on that tour. You've got Stuart McCloskey, who, as you say, is experienced. You've got Jamie Osborne, who I don't think he's in this squad
also
as a
went on the Lions tour.
But went on the Lions, is a brilliant player, and again, is a very consistent performer no matter what position you put him in.
Yeah.
And so that is, a really crowded position. And there's a lot of these. Again, I really feel for Gavin Coombs because if he came across 10 years earlier, you'd potentially be looking at him getting, endless more caps than he is at the moment. If he
had a Welsh nan, he'd be first choice.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You don't want... The thing is, there's a lot of Irish fans get bored by this. I get it completely, right? And you want bigger surprises when the squad's named. You don't want to be Wales.
Yeah.
No one knows what Tandy's squad's going to be next week. There's 10 players who are penciled in already. And you're going to end up players where you're oh, them? Really?
That came from the situation of Wayne Pivac not knowing his strongest team and just tossing and turning every single time and chopping and changing everything. So, there are negative effects to having that approach.
There are a few names that really stand out to me, right? One is Paddy McCarthy, who is the one uncapped player in the squad. Brother of Joe McCarthy, who isn't around.
He's injured.
Yeah, picked with an injury, so hasn't been rushed back, hasn't been in there. Has not played that much for Leinster. Has just got, 9 games, I believe. 9 appearances in the URC. For him, just the 2 starts, both of them this season. Both of them very solid. Yeah. Has been very solid at this level, stepping up. So he's clearly gone, okay, I look what I'm seeing here, and I'll throw in a 22-year-old prop. I don't blame that. Getting a prop in young, getting them some experience, that's a solid thing. It does mean that Michael Milne has fallen prey of something that will be very funny to the discourse around it, that was in the squad when he was with Leinster, has moved to Munster and now missed out on the first squad despite scoring 2 tries last weekend.
No one's going to be mad about that at all.
No. So that's a potentially funny note, but really, this is just having a look at someone else, right?
Yeah.
Going, I like the raw materials here, I want to have a look at him. He is going to be third choice. Again, the talking points of the third choice players.
Yeah.
Ireland, it's a strong position to be in.
Yeah. Cormac Izuchukwu unfortunately has a foot injury.
Yeah.
I really like Izuchukwu, and I really want to see him nail down a jersey, even if that's a 19 jersey, because he doubles as a second row or a back row forward and plays both equally well. I think he'd be perfect as that player off the bench, especially if he goes 6'2" on the bench, somebody who can double up, play multiple positions and bring like loads of impact off the bench. So it's a real shame about him, because I think going ahead to the 2027 World Cup, it's players like him that they really want to nail down and go, what's your role in this team? So with that means that they are still picking Ian Henderson, that he will never not be in an Ireland team, because he's probably the person who would have missed out.
That is extraordinary that he's still like.
Yeah.
I keep expecting to just look at the squad and not notice he's not in, and then he's always there.
Yeah.
He'll always be there.
But also, I suppose, like you look at on a similar mould, like the likes of Nick Timoney still getting in. I really like Nick Timoney again. He's a proper grafter around the park. And again, like him and Kian Prendergast are both brilliant players who are mainstays in the Ireland team. They're always in the squad, but have like not that many minutes between them per campaign. And it's a shame, because I think they're both brilliant players. Like, I love watching Kian Prendergast play, because he's somebody who works so unbelievably hard, makes 1,000 tackles a game.
There is one name that really stands out to me, though.
Yeah.
I need to talk about. Caelan Doris.
Yes, captain Caelan Doris.
Caelan Doris is in. He is captain. That is the big standout thing. He hasn't played a minute since getting injured in Leinster's, was it Victoria's, their Champions Cup campaign? I can't remember. How did they get on there? He then went on, didn't go on the Lions tour, where him and Otoja were very much jostling for the captaincy. He gets injured, misses out, and ends up instead not playing a minute since. Hasn't played a minute for Leinster this season. You keep hearing stories of he isn't that far away. I assume this would be, he'll probably recover during the autumn and play Champions Cup end of this year in December. Looks like he's going to be back, and you do not make him your captain unless you're expecting him to play.
That's a weird one, isn't it? Because they're expecting him to not only play but start, and to probably play the majority of the game. Because that's a heavy burden to put on his shoulders. I guess the other question then becomes like, who would you make captain instead? But the obvious answer would be Gary Ringrose, as somebody who's captain, or Dan Sheehan, as two people who have captained Ireland a lot before in past, like know the system inside out. Obviously, Craig Casey did a great job captaining them in the summer, but also like he's got Gibson Park to sit behind, so that would be too controversial a call to then just drop one of the best players in the world who just started 3 tests for the Lions. But and Ty Byrne, I suppose, is the other one actually.
Ty Byrne, of course.
Captain the Lions. So I suppose.
No, of course,
the point I'm trying to make is they are not short of leadership in this team. No, it's not like they're relying on Doris. It's like, again, to go back to that Wales example, if Jack Morgan's injured and he's coming back in this situation, you probably go, well, he's the best player, we've got to give him the captaincy anyway. Whereas with Doris, he still is probably the best player, arguably. But it's not like there's not really experienced players who could lead this team just as well. Yeah,
but the other question is, has he just gone, I don't want to strip him of the captaincy as he's coming into the camp? He's a great leader for the squad and for the group. And it might be I want him there as a squad leader. And actually we'll have match day captain will be Ty Byrne or Dan Sheehan. And it might be that he's only involved there because largely, right, you don't want it to be in the situation where they put him in the squad just in case he recovers in time to play the last game, or where he's going to be in the squad, he's going to train, and maybe he'll start, whatever, we don't know quite where he's at. But we want to carry on and make the statement that he is our captain going forward, rather than we're going to give it to Sheehan for one campaign and then move it back to being him there. Just keep clean kind of leadership through the group.
Sure.
Keep him as captain going forward. It's an option. I don't know.
It certainly is. So a couple of points about the back line I want to address. First one, Hugo Keenan is out injured, unfortunately.
Hip injury after Lions, took surgery. Fair enough.
Who do we think steps into that fullback jersey?
I
have a clear idea.
Jamie Osborne is my instinct.
I think Jamie Osborne. So he's been starting at fullback for Leinster.
Yes.
And again, he will play in this system. Like, he will slot in seamlessly is the kind of always the theme with Jamie Osborne. I suppose the other options are you could move a winger back there. Jacob Stockdale's been playing really well there for Ulster recently, so that's I guess an option.
But
also like at the same time, I think there'll be some people going like, are we still trying to make this Stockdale thing happen again? Obviously James Lowe and Mac Hansen can both play there.
Frawley can play there.
Kieran Frawley's a good option there as well. I imagine he'll be the bench option who could fill in either of those positions. And especially if you want to move a winger around, like Tommy O'Brien's been on really good form all the way through 2025.
but no Jimmy O'Brien in the squad.
But again, like Tommy O'Brien's been exceptional all year. Like I completely back that call. And I hope he gets a bit of game time because once again, the one thing that Andy Farrell's often fallen short of is developing depth. And hopefully he can use at least one or two of the games this autumn to do that. And again, we mentioned players like Tommy O'Brien, like, not as a Chikwu, but like Keon Prendergast, for instance, that he can use the blood in that situation.
Jimmy O'Brien seems to be an interesting... Now, he may have got injured, and it isn't reported, but he played for Leinster at the weekend. I believe he played the full 80 minutes, and then hasn't been selected.
Okay.
Which I think that's intriguing. He's a player I would have backed to be in that squad.
I guess he's in a crowded position, isn't he?
Yeah. But with, you're lacking your first choice anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Also worth noting, there are 3 players going as travelling reserves to Chicago and involved with the wider squad as kind of training figures, as apprentices, Farrell's referred to them in the past. Edwin Adogbo is going out.
I like that.
Number 8, been playing well for Munster, kind of back from has been out injured for a long, long time since then.
He's such an exciting young player.
Yeah.
And again, he's somebody that Munster fans are rightly raving over.
Yeah,
because his carrying game and physicality are exceptional. I really like the look of the Adogbo.
Just came back from injury against Edinburgh this weekend, so it's being parachuted straight back in, having had obviously his injury concerns.
He's
played
worth
very
a
well
punt
last
on.
week, yeah. Played second row, plays number 8 as well, so can cover a number of positions.
Yeah.
Really interesting option. Brian Gleeson, also travelling.
Okay, yeah, another very exciting young player.
Yeah, but has the neck so good for his 20s. Couldn't get your head around the fact that he is called Brian Gleeson.
Yeah.
And he is young. He's 21 now,
Yeah.
maybe, but. I hear Brian Gleeson, I go, oh, he's a 40-year-old who played in that 2006 Heineken Cup winning team.
He was great in the '87 World Cup, Brian Gleeson.
And then Shane Bolton is also travelling.
Oh yeah, I like Shane Bolton as well.
1 cap.
Yeah.
And we'll hope to add to that down the line.
Yeah, yeah. Again, on all of his caps, Ireland have won by 100+ points. So
yeah.
They want to keep that up.
Yeah.
For sure.
Put him in against the All Blacks, just try and prove it.
Yeah. It's not quite, his Connaught record isn't quite the same as that, I must admit.
Not quite.
But, yeah. But overall,
yeah,
it is the same squad Andy Farrell likes to pick.
Yeah.
I want to say this is a really exciting squad, but when you look at the actual players, the names,
Ireland, isn't it?
It's
the Ireland squad.
It is it is an exciting squad, but also I get why some people might feel a little bit apathetic. So I've seen this squad before.
Yeah.
I felt excited about this in the Six Nations, but it's the same squad now. But it's a great squad,
yeah,
and
it is.
Obviously, there's a lot of the chat will go again moving forward to the Munster-Leinster game on the weekend. There will be a lot of, I guess, 50-50 decisions of people trying to take a shirt off one another. So that's an exciting game happening this weekend. Obviously, there's always
Michael Milne.
Indeed, especially Michael Milne. Obviously, the 10 debate is always going to carry on, as it will. Our official stance on that, I would like to say, is they are both really good players.
Yeah, they're both excellent players.
And Andy Farrell should be very grateful that he's got them both in his squad.
As should fans.
Yes, especially should fans.
So
they're both brilliant and very different rugby players.
Absolutely. Ireland play New Zealand first up in Shoulder Field. That is officially not part of the Autumn Nation Series. Oh. That is the Gallagher Cup. That is not part of the Autumn Nation Series. They then play Ireland. Of course, Ireland are playing. I was about to read the fixture out. They then play Japan, where Stuart McCloskey will win his 22nd cap. They then play Australia a week later, and then last Saturday, South Africa. So they can build towards that. That very much feels like at some point we will see Caelan Doris come back over that campaign, even if it isn't that first game. And you then build towards South Africa game, aren't you? That's a real chance.
That's built with the World Cup campaign in mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you get the All Blacks as the big blowout, the pool blowout first up, and then you get a slightly easier, well, not easier one, but
then you get the other pool game.
Yeah.
Then you get a quarter or semi in Australia. Then you get South Africa. Then you get the big test.
Yeah. So, obviously, it's semi-coincidental that the fixtures have landed like this. But I think Andy Farrell will be really pleased.
Or quarter coincidental because it's Ireland.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. That's a way that he can just build momentum for this squad, going up.
And you want South Africa to be your last game, right? Yeah. You want to build towards it.
Yeah.
And New Zealand's an easy game to get up for first. So
I thought you were going to say it's an easy game.
Yeah, it's an easy one, isn't it? Yeah. Put Stuart McCloskey out for that one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to add on the Ireland squad?
Ronan O'Gara robbed.
Do you think the other squads from here will get more or less interesting?
Wales are probably up next, aren't they?
Wales has been named next Tuesday.
Anyone could be in it.
Mate, Harry Deeves time.